Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I gotta check, make sure this is rolling. Yes, it is. I am so out of practice talking to the camera. Well, I'm trying to do it once a week so I can kind of catch up with you on Saturdays. I have been working on this project is I started it last week and I was going to use up some scrap paper, and I'm like, I want to use up the jelly prints that I have. And I had a folder in my scrap paper storage of just jelly prints that were pretty, but I didn't have a use for. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to use these Laurel Birch stamps. They're right here actually. And I'll pull out the dies just because you can see. Aren't they cute? So I stamped and cut them out of some jelly prints, and I'm like, oh, why don't I make some cool serendipity backgrounds while I'm at it? And so I went through all of my scrap paper, and I cut down all my solids to standard matting layer size. So I've got them all cut there, and then I cut smaller scraps so that I would be able to stamp or write on them and tape them into the inside of a card so the card can be reused, because I can use it with this this kind of it's like a Handmade with Love set. It's by Rubber Stamp Tapestry, and it's got it says I was lovingly made, before you throw me away. You can remove the sentiment, reuse the card, or turn it to something else. Just kind of giving people permission not to have to hold on to your cards forever, and to make them so you can take what you wrote out and use the card again. So if I sent you a thinking of you card, then you could enjoy it or whatever for a few days, and you could take the center out, and then you could write a note in there and send it on to somebody else. So I kind of like that idea, because you can end up spending a lot of time on your card, so it's nice if they can get another use, and that way people don't have to feel guilty if they don't want to keep your card forever and ever, because I never expect anybody to. So I kind of like that. It just keeps the love going. And so I was taking all of the pattern papers, and these are all solids. These are all pretty decent, solid colors that I would use for matting. And every once in a while I have some colors that either I had a lot of, or I just didn't really like the color that much, or I knew I never used that color that often, and it came in a pack or something like that. So for those, I use those for backgrounds on some serendipity papers. So serendipity papers, if you don't know, this was kind of a trend. Isn't that just pretty? I just used punch outs. It was kind of a trend, I would say maybe oh gosh, 2000, so that's 20 years ago. You take your paper scraps and you tear them or punch them out, or use strips, whatever scrap papers you had, and you would just glue stick them down onto a piece of cardstock. You might stamp over them, you might doodle on them, you might do whatever, and then you would cut those up into squares and use them to embellish scrapbook pages and cards and stuff. And you'd end up with some really interesting papers because you're using up all your scraps. And I always love that. And you don't see that technique around very much anymore, so I'm I'm going to make a bunch of serendipity backgrounds to go with the stamped cats. I'm going to grab one of the stamped cats. Hey, look! Try your pants on, people. Make sure your pants fit. They may be a little snugger than they were a month ago, but make sure you can still button your pants so that you don't have any rude awakenings when the world opens back up again. So this is one of the cats. Oh, I can hold it against my shirt and you can see. Isn't it cute? So I made 30 of these cats because I was just on a roll playing with my gel prints, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all these cats? I want to make some happy mail, so, but I just didn't want to stick them onto a blank card and call it a day. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of lame. I think these cats are so cute that I want a background that's really going to, do them justice. And so then I started making, I'm already on my second bin. These bins, by the way, I don't know if they still have them. I came across them at a Dollar Tree I don't usually go to, but they're for $1. And they're perfect for putting cards in there that are or that are about 4 inches wide. That's what the backgrounds are, 4 by 5 1/4. So if you need something like that, they're working ideal for that. They're a little too narrow for a regular card base, but anyway, I just think they're so neat. You just kind of stick your papers down, and you can put them through an embossing folder too if you want a little extra texture. It just looks very quilty, and that's what I wanted with these Laurel Birch stamped cats, because they have that kind of crazy quilt feeling, and that's what I wanted with these background papers. I wanted a crazy quilt, sort of homespun, wild, creative. That's how I wanted to feel, and I've been feeling very kind of wild and creative making all these background papers. But let me show you my table. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But I don't think I have this. Yeah, I can spin this around. Look at this mess. But isn't it a delightful mess? One thing I was doing was I was punching out a bunch of like hexagons so that I could paper piece them. That's something I haven't done in a long time. Here's the background waiting to be trimmed. I'm gonna have a tutorial on these on all these techniques, but they're just fun. It's fun. It's so nice to use up stuff. Look at, I mean, like, oh, I can't throw this away yet. I might use that little punch out piece. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to use up your stuff. It makes you feel good, right? Because you bought and paid for that stuff, and then you can use it, and it just, you know, you feel good when you're not throwing stuff away. I think anyway. And this time when a lot of us are at home, even if you're not at home and you're working, you're still definitely limited to what you can do outside of work. It's not like you're going out and shopping or going out to dinner or lunch with friends or anything like that. So you're probably home more. Even if you are working, you're probably home more than you would be typically with less access to arts and craft supplies. So being able to use up what you have is wonderful. Taking that time to get your studio in order is great. And by studio, it could be a corner of your bedroom. I'm a big believer in just finding whatever you have available. I'm in the corner of a basement, an unfinished basement. I'm looking at cement walls over there. You know, it's not fancy, but it gives me a place where I can leave a huge mess out. And I was just seeing another one of these. I just got to stay off Facebook because it's just a bunch of people whining, I think, most of the time. But somebody was like making these disparaging remarks about, you know, pretty IKEA craft rooms. And it's like, listen, if my art studio was upstairs where everybody could see it, I would want something pretty that looked like it belonged in a living space of a house. Nobody's going to see this except for, you know, people watching my videos, and you guys don't care, and me. So I can leave a mess out. I won't, you know, I mean, it's like, I feel like the lack of empathy and understanding right now sometimes on social media, not in real life, because I think in real life people are fantastic, but I'm just seeing this kind of like, I don't know, this lashing out of towards people, and I just don't like that. I was like, I even see it on YouTube comments sometimes. It's like, dude, chill out, you know, stop judging people, stop, you know, stop fighting, stop arguing over nothing, over stupid things. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of lately. And I don't want to put that out of the world. I want to put happy cats and paper piecing and scrappy papers and recycling. And Earth Day was this week, so that was kind of fun. I was like, it snuck up on me. It's like, oh yeah, we used to do this thing in Brewer, Maine, called the Hope Festival. And I don't know if that was like a, I don't know if it was like a nationwide thing or if it was just like a local thing that we did in Brewer. It might have been in Orono too. But yeah, people with like green businesses would get together and have presentations and about environmentalism and things like that. And if there's one positive thing over the coronavirus lockdown, it might be that we're using what we have a little bit more. We're being very mindful about the things that we waste. We're not making non-essential trips in our vehicles. And we're using up what we have. We're making do. We're using recycled materials more. And I think just like using the things that you bought already is such a big thing, because the most I've read this today, the most environmentally friendly product is the one you don't buy. And it's like, oh, that's pretty that's pretty smart. I mean, I've always saved spaghetti sauce jars and cans and things like that, and especially since recycling stopped in our town because there's no market for people to buy the recycled the goods, I guess. So the more that you can reuse the stuff you already have, use the stuff you've bought and paid for, the better. Oh, and I get, every time I do one of these videos where I'm talking to you guys, I get questions about the markers. This rack these markers are in, I purchased from a scrapbooking store that was going out of business like probably 15 years ago. And it was like a zig marker display. And people ask me, do I put different brands together? Yes, obviously, that's why they all look different. I have alcohol markers here and up there, and I have water-based markers here. People ask me all the time, do they all work? Yes, they do. If I come across a marker that doesn't work, I either, like if the nibs are in good condition, I'll refill it. I just use liquid watercolors like the Dr. P.H. Martin Radiant or Blick Studio, or what's it called? Blick, I think it's called Blick Studio liquid watercolors. You can mix, the colors mix fantastic. They're very affordable. Come in huge bottles too. Great for teachers. Yeah, if the tips are in great condition, I'll make an ink to match and I'll re-ink it. Doesn't happen too often because when I KonMari, I took all the markers out, tested them, re-inked any that I wanted to, and any duds or like frayed tips and stuff like that, I got rid of those. But I find you can re-ink them quite a bit. Even the water-based ones, they last really well. And plus, I don't think things tend to dry out down here because it's in a basement. There's no natural light. I think that's why my stamps last so well. I haven't had any go gummy or soft or weird. And I think it's sunlight that does that to your clear stamps that that ruins them. I think because they're photopolymer stamps. I think the light kind of degrades them a bit. So even though I have a lot of lights on, it's not the same as like a drying sunlight, and all my stamps are in binders, so they, even with all these lights, they're not getting hit. And that's something I'm gonna consider here. That's a concern I have with my cardstock like this. I'm worried that the edges might fade. I could probably get through this fairly quickly, but I'll probably store these in a shelf where they're not going to get so much light on them. But that just, gosh, having it all cut the same size just makes me happy. This is way too organized for me. But yeah, every 2 years or so I go through my scrap. And oh, let me grab my scrap paper bin. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna not trip over the space heater while I go get my crate, because I'm gonna totally redo how I store this. So this is my scrap paper crate. You've probably seen it in other videos. It was completely full. These are my hanging file folders, and I had all of my scrap paper organized by color. And so like this is my black, gray, silver one. So I took all the papers out. I used the patterns for my backgrounds and chopped down the solids to go in my bins there. So these are just vinyl scraps here. And I've got my silver, black, gray. And I used to use that a lot more. I know vinyl's like kind of the big thing with people that use like Cricut machines right now, but I used to use the vinyl a lot more when the kids were little, because I would make decals to like customize their water bottles and lunch boxes and things like that. But then I haven't really done many projects like that lately. It seems like the only time I'm ever doing that is if someone like asks me to make them a decal for this or that. And it's kind of like washing dishes for me. I don't like working with vinyl, so, and I used to use them for like scrapbook titles and stuff like that, but you know, honestly, I'd probably just as soon use paper, so I might actually donate the vinyl to a friend, see if they want it. I used to have some rolls of vinyl, and I found I was never going for the rolls of vinyl. I would always go for my scraps, so I gave all those away a couple of years ago when I KonMari'd the place. But I think that I've got 3 of those yellow crates, one with school supplies in it, one with canvas panels, and I think I'm going to find another place to put those so I can tip my camera around so I can roll those. If you look under my table here, that's where I have those stacked up, so I can roll my red Raskog dupe cart, my faux Raskog cart, under there, because it would just be better than it being out in the middle of everything. So there's a little update from my neck of the woods. It's still cold. It's, you know, wind chills in the teens yesterday. We're a month into spring, and apparently up here in Maine, we've figured out how to combat global warming, because it's just getting colder and colder. It's like the winter that will never end. But it was sunny today at least, so I can't figure out how I do not have a tan yet, because every day I'm out walking the dog, my face is, you know, in the sun. I would think I would have a tan by now. I do not know why I do not. It's unexplainable. We must have a really good layer of ozone here in Maine. I don't know, but you know, the skies are clear. That is good. It's nice to see pictures from around the world with pollution-free, clean skies. That's definitely a positive outcome from all of this. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're staying safe and staying sane. And if you are home alone, if you don't have family that you're quarantined with, please reach out to friends. Reach out to family that don't live with you. Make sure you stay connected. If you are at home with a bunch of people, we're a family of 5 in a fairly small house that is under never-ending renovations. You know, just to make sure you find some time for yourself then, if that's the situation. Take care of yourself. Okay, make sure you keep your mind and body healthy, and create something, make something fun, use your supplies, you bought and paid for them, put them to use, get creative with what you have, and yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Happy crafting!